What's going on, YouTube? Welcome back to another episode of Caveman Mods. Today we're going to discuss a little bit of what I've been doing with this truck, where we're at currently, where we're looking to go. Hopefully I can get a couple things done. It's supposed to be a nice big storm, Hurricane Laura moving in. We're in Tennessee. Ain't got a whole lot to worry about when it comes to hurricanes, but you know, there's still going to be a bunch of residual rain, storms, things like that coming this way. So stay tuned and get to show you a little bit of that and a little bit of how we got to there. So stick around, guys, and we'll get right to it. All right, so first off, guys, I know you noticed it's been a while since I put out any videos. For that, I apologize. You know, I've had a lot of things going on, and I've really been trying to buckle down and get this truck finished up. So that being said, I haven't really had very much time to make videos, but being that it's going to be a rainy day today, so I figure I'd give you guys a nice update on how I got to where I'm at and what it's looking like so far. So of course, you know, this whole grill surround, the entire grill, I swapped the grill out. It was broke down here all the way across. Got a different grill. Put all stainless steel hardware back in, so I got a few I got to take off because we didn't put anti-seize on a few of them. I ran out, so a couple like this one right here, they're still loose, not a big deal. I'm gonna get them tightened back down after I get my anti-seize put on there. I got to get my father over here to help because one person has to be inside the hood while the other's out here tightening it down. So, but anyways, I went through, got all the paint off of this grill surround, and I'm gonna tell you what, the biggest majority of it, you know, where this whole little boogered up section right here is, yeah, I couldn't get that all off without spending a decade on it, so I wasn't concerned about it. But it just looked like crap, man. The truck looked old and it just looked outdated. You know, whatever they painted this truck was with spray paint, and they did a terrible job. So I'm gonna let it fly for now, but you know, at least this kind of doesn't make it look so trashy. So yeah, we got that all cleaned up. I went ahead and got my dove put up there, a swan. My bad, he's a swan. A male swan, by the way. So I put another front bumper on this truck. Got rid of the one that was on it, the factory bumper. Of course, it was ugly also. They painted it white. Well, this bumper actually had given to me by a guy up in up by Cleveland, Columbus, Ohio. I think it was Columbus. But just so happened to pull up and deliver a load, and there was a cattle hauler, I guess, yard next door, and I seen they had some parts over there. I went and talked to him, and the guy was nice enough to give me a bumper. So that's the bumper I got. And if you notice, it doesn't fit right. It did have a little bend in it over there in that corner. I don't know if you can see it. We straightened it out a little bit. Not a big deal. Like I said, I'm trying to get this truck on the road as cheap as possible because, well, at the end of the day, you know, it's all about making money anyways, and the more I put into it, the more I have to recover whenever I'm starting to make money with it. So, but I'll let you know how we did this here. So this bumper come off the 389. Does not fit a 379. My bolt pattern is right here. This bolt, that bolt, that bolt. And then these two, because the hook goes right here in the middle. Sorry, the hook goes right here in the middle, and it's supposed to have a cutout right here. My dumb ass, I left the hook on it, and it pushed the button right there. Not a big deal. I don't even care. So, like I said, this bumper did not fit this truck. The original mounting holes on a 389 is this bolt hole down here, which is no longer a bolt hole, and this one up here. So what we did is flip the bumper over. You can see, I guess right here on the license plate, well, where they had theirs, you can see the letter 5, it's upside down. So this used to be the bottom of the bumper, now it's the top. We re-drilled it for this. We got it all lined out where it's gonna, you know, be on the truck as perfect as possible. And I wanted to lift it a hair, but if we found that if we closed this gap any, that it was actually going to interfere with opening the hood, so we couldn't do that. So after we went ahead and drilled it out, we were left with, of course, this bolt hole and that bolt hole, same on that side. So I put this little turn signal in here, and it's not one of these cheap push-in ones with the rubber grommet or any of that. You know, it's actually a good one that I got from Iowa 80 truck stop. Sorry about that. From Iowa 80 truck stop, so I don't know if you can see back in there, but it's one of the ones that actually bolt on. And then that left us with this other bolt hole right here. I'm going to try to figure this out. I can't guarantee that I can, but of course I'm going to put my license plate right here in the center. And I want to try to find a light that actually is angled towards the license plate on both sides. That way it kind of looks like it was supposed to be that way. And if you guys know of anybody or any manufacturers that make a light that angles straight one direction or the other, I mean, it's universal, so I could flip it right to left. That's irrelevant. So if we could find some of those lights, that would be really appreciated. If you guys can give me some leads. Other than that, got this fog light right here. Sorry, neighbor's passing by. So I put this fog light in here on a 389 bumper. This is actually a little square hole where you can slide that eye hook into the frame and put your cotter pin, your key and your cotter pin in case you get stuck in it. You can get pulled out. That's what my hook is for. But well, I have no access to my hook any longer. So it looked funny having these on the truck with these big holes, or this bumper on the truck with this big hole down here. So I just notched these corners out where they were rounded off, where I can get this fog light in. I actually took the fog light and cut a 3/8 of an inch all the way around. I shaved the entire face of the fog light after I took this cover right here off. And once I did that, I was able to get it into this housing right here. Okay, the difference, what I had to do was make up the thickness of the bumper, because once I took these off, you know, the bolts, the little thin, tiny bolts, they're not that big, so the only way I can get them back in was to cut the thickness of the bumper out of the actual light itself. That way I can put the cap back on, if that makes any sense. If you have any questions about it, call me. I can actually take one of them off, or not call me, I'm sorry, message me, and you know, I can actually show you how to do it, or I got other lights in there I could show you also. But yeah, I did the same thing on that side. Notched the corners out. I shaved 3/8 of an inch off the front of the housing itself after you take this off. It's got a rubber grommet and everything that goes in it, so it's all sealed up, and it's just back like factory. You know, the only thing I really had to do extra was, of course, drill all the holes for the bolts to go through and hold that on. So that's where I'm at with the bumper. It definitely looks a whole lot better than what it used to. Looks like a presentable truck now. Also got my lug nut covers. Yeah, I know, kind of irrelevant, but I figured, what the hell, I'll go ahead and throw them on there. That being said, don't know if I ever showed you guys, I got my horn, or my airline for my horn over here. I haven't got it hooked up yet. I ain't doing all that fancy stuff with that nice chrome pipe coming up through the floor with the valve and all that. And I'm going to just mount my stuff straight to the wall. Still debating on what I'm going to do. I haven't changed my plans. Originally we were going to go, sorry about my finger there. Originally we were going to go with everything on the walls being 3/4 inch plywood. I was going to stain it all blue, and that's going to be a lot of work. Honestly, my last door panels that I was going to use, the blue ones, the 3/4 inch plywood ones, or birch plywood, man, it took me nearly a day just to get one of them stained to the color that I liked. So it was just going to take too long. And my other neighbor. So what I ended up really coming up with is I'm going to take this particle board. I'm going to cut out all my templates. You know, of course, I made a cardboard template. And then if you go up here actually and look at how I've actually got it mounted up. Let me see here. Sorry about that. So if I go up here, show you, they're held up with bolts. You know, button cap, Allen head bolts. And the reason I'm doing so is because I want this to be secure up there. You know, I don't want it to be, I want everything to look uniform. So if you look straight down there, all my bolt holes are lined up this way, and it's going to look nice. I'm going to wrap all these in a gray leather. I got some right here because when I hang this piece up, it actually falls right there and leaves a little bit of a gap that would have just been this bare metal. So that right there is going to stop that from happening, or at least you won't be able to see the metal. Started putting my dash back together. It's painted. It's not the best. You know, I did the best I could with what I had. Honestly, a lot of things have been in short supply with all this COVID stuff going on, and I can't find that much paint anywhere. So I basically had to run with what I had and try to put as many coats as I could, but as thin as possible, if that makes sense. So my dash is painted. I'm already starting to put it back together. You know, of course, I got my vents in. I'm already getting all my gauges put back in. Don't pay attention to my Volvo speedometer in this Peterbilt. That's what come with the truck. That's what I'm going to run with. But you can see I got this one in already over here. I'm still going to figure out what I'm going to do right here at this hole. Don't know if you can see it, but yeah, that hole. Got my new ashtray to go in there. I don't have an ashtray in this truck, but I've got the ashtray housing, the chrome one. And that's, of course, what my air looks like, or my control panel for the air. And this piece that goes up here, we're also done with. So, you know, that's so you kind of get an idea. Well, here, you know, sorry about all the camera stuff here. I'm going to flip this around. All right, so you get an idea kind of what this is looking like. After it's all said and done, this is somewhat going to be what the inside of the cab looks like. Of course, like I said, this is going to be gray leather all up here. Still debating if I'm going to do the walls plywood or if I'm just going to do it with this particle board and wrap them all in leather. I got plenty enough to do this entire truck just in case. So, everything on the dash looks pretty good. Yeah, I've already scratched it here. I've already chipped it there. And I've chipped it down here. But there's a lot going on, and I don't have all the time to actually do this the proper way that you normally would, with taking everything and basically making everything first, making sure it's all going to fit, and I'm trying to do it as I go along. So it's not like everything's pre-made. I got to get in here. There's not a right process to do this, if that makes sense. I'll get y'all flip back around. In my mind anyways, there's no real procedure in how to do this the right way without sacrificing something that I've done already, you know. So like me getting these door panels in, well, there ain't no way I could really get stuff in and out of here without bumping into these door panels periodically. Same thing with this dashboard. You know, I'm trying to stay away from it with everything that I'm putting in here, but I mean, I'm working in a confined space, and you know, that was something imperative that I had to get finished, because you know, fiberglass on a dashboard is not easy. It takes a lot of time. It's tedious, and definitely a really dusty job. So you know, I don't like doing fiberglass anymore. I don't think I'm ever going to do any more fiberglass work. But the bunk, it's ready to start putting all the interior up. I got all my insulation in up here. Of course, you see that channel right there. Well, that's just where this is going to fall. I actually had this piece already made. I pre-made a different one, and I went to put it in last night, and stupid me, I didn't measure. I measured it to where it would fit perfectly in there in its raw form, bare, just like that, and I didn't take into consideration the thickness of the pad that was going to be under the leather, plus the leather itself. And when I went to put it back in, well, it fit so tight that it actually bowed in to the point where I couldn't get it back out without breaking it. So yeah, I screwed that one up. Now I'm making a different one, which is fine actually, because I forgot to cut the holes for the lights in the last one anyways. So this one I'm just making sure I got fit right. I did cut some off at either end, that way I don't have that problem again like I did last time. And I gotta figure out what I'm gonna do with the lights next. But so my floors, we've changed. I'm not gonna dye my floors blue anymore. They're also gonna be this color right here. I think just about all the wood that I'm putting in this truck's gonna be this color, only because, well, those are already that color, and I don't want to sand these and stain them and all that stuff. So we're just gonna run with what I got. The floor back here, well, it's just still gonna stay 3/4 inch plywood floor. We're just gonna stain the rest of it. Well, what you're gonna see, I'm not gonna stain every entire piece of it because there's no point. A lot of it's gonna be under the bunk. I'm just gonna paint it black. I think that's just about it for right here in the interior. Getting old sucks. My knees. So anyways, we're gonna head over here to the garage really quick. And yes, my garage is still a mess. Not nearly as bad as it has been, but I'll let you see it. So I got all this chrome over here for the dash. This is just a bucket of chemicals, paints, and stuff I'm working with. But yeah, there's a bunch of chrome right here for my dash. So I'm doing all that is little by little. And then my dad's over here finishing up these speaker boxes. We're getting ready to stain those. I'm trying to get the garage straightened up These are not the subwoofers going in the truck, just so you know. Those will tear that truck up. This piece up here, we're finished with, finally. And my father, he kept lollygagging, and I kept telling him, hey, I need it done, I need it done. Yeah, I scratched the heck out of it right there putting it in. But I ain't worried about that, because the door's gonna fall right here, or not the door, but the A-pillar. You're never gonna see that, so I'm not even concerned about it. Basically, if you can't tell, I'm kind of in a rush. You know, I wanted to do it right, I wanted it to look pretty, but at the same time, you know, good enough has to go. You know, I got to keep explaining to my dad that if I keep prolonging this and trying to replace and redo every little thing before I even decide to put this truck on the road, everything that I started with is going to have to be replaced. You know, this truck's been sitting for 4 years, and that's one of the worst things you could do to one of these trucks is let it sit. So after putting this truck on the road, probably the first couple of weeks, I'm going to be replacing all the wheel seals again. I'll probably be replacing airbags and may have some air leaks. You know, there's going to be a lot of little issues that I go through, but I don't want it to be something that's going to be major mechanical. You know, that's why I've did everything I could to get this truck mechanically sound before I hit the road with it. So my electrical, it's 99% done. The only thing I really got left to do on the electrical is hook up these right here. Sorry. These lights right here are for the ones that go into my breathers and on my underglow. I've got it all hooked up for the most part, but the LED light that I put in here, which was just a strip LED, you know, I put it all the way around the inside of this, and after I got it all put on the truck, it quit working. So I just said to hell with it. I'm not even gonna hook them up right now. They're there for when I'm ready. I got everything else wired up. You know, fog lights work, turn signals work, all the trailer lights, everything are gonna work. Oh, I forgot to show you guys. We put the stacks on. 7-inch stacks off a Freightliner Classic. Got them on a Peterbilt 379. And I'm gonna tell you here, let me step over here so you guys can get a little bit better look. Let me get you flipped around here. So there you have it. That's what it looks like. They're short stacks. From the ground to the tip of that stack right there is 10 foot 4 inches. Same on the other side. I think we got them as straight as we possibly could. I think we got the right angle on both of them. I think it looks good. You know, let me know in the comments what you think. But here, I'm gonna shut this door so we can get a look at it from this angle. And don't pay attention to how ugly the side of this truck is. I gotta get the rest of that clear coat off. But I think she's coming along, man. She definitely looks a heck of a lot better than the day I got it. So you guys comment, like I said, down below, what do you think of the stacks? I know you can see right here on the side where it used to be mounted up, and I don't even care. Like I said, this thing's just for making money. So this is where it mounted on the Freightliner. This one, that one, I'm assuming that one. I don't know. The Peterbilt mounts are different. The way I had to go about doing this, it was a little bit of work. So these don't go on this truck. I had to modify the Y pipe down here, right in there. As a matter of fact, what I did was I cut it down here. I took the elbow off of one of the old exhausts, the factory one, and slipped it over that. And I used it as a coupling to put this flex pipe on. Which, now that I'm saying that, I realize I forgot to put the exhaust strap on right there to hold it up. But I'll fix that later. That ain't no big deal. I'll get that done here in the next day or two, if the weather lets me anyways. You can see under here, you know, all that's all my strip LED. That's all the underglow. Goes all the way around the truck. Does it on the other side as well, all the way up through there. A lot of that's all my new wiring. You know, I've rewired all these lights. I don't think I ever showed that to you guys, but I tried to simplify things and make it as easy to work on as possible. You know, I got all this all hardwired. Everything's pretty much ready to put this truck on the road for the most part. I think I'm gonna have to do it with the tires that I've got. Except for maybe this one. You know, these ain't too bad. They're a little old, but this one's the only real bad one I got. You know, there's not much left on that one. So I think I'm gonna run with these tires for at least first 2 or 3 weeks. And that one up there is not in the best shape either, but I think I may be able to get away with that one. I'm gonna take this tire here, put on that side over there, and just run with it. I ain't got much of a choice. I know you guys see me put this deck plate on. Well, I know you guys seen the deck plate after I put it on, but so I'm gonna be flatbedding with this truck. I also got these I put in there. I'm gonna be flatbedding with this truck, so I went and found me a headache rack, and it had a couple cracks in it, so I took it up to a fab shop and dropped it off over the weekend, and they're gonna weld the cracks up. I got 2 holes in the bucket that goes on the headache rack, the very bottom when, you know, your chains drop in. They're gonna fill those holes, or actually they're gonna put a plate over it and then fill them. And from there, I think I only paid $100 for the headache rack, and it's gonna cost me, I think, $200. I think the guy quoted me right, $225 to get the headache rack welded up, which ain't the best, but it ain't the worst. I don't know if you guys ever seen where I mounted my horns. So I got them mounted right here, and yeah, it's a small set from eBay. Don't laugh at me, I don't really care. They're loud. So I'll show you how I got these hooked up here as well. See, I got this hose running straight to it that comes from the other side. I mounted them, I don't know if you can see it right back in here, but there's this bracket, boom, right there. It goes over to the cab mount, and I just drilled up into the edge right here into this lip and just mounted it straight there. Them suckers ain't going nowhere, they're solid. And like I said, I'll show you really quick how I plumbed this thing up, because I didn't go the conventional route. You know, you buy this extra compressor and this extra tank. You know, why you need to do all that? You got air tanks on the truck. So coming from this side, boom, right here. All right, so this line, I fed this 45 in, and I ran it straight behind the air tank, and it comes out right over here. So boom, I got this empty air. This is old used airline, just regular airline. Works perfectly fine. But so I got this all hanging over there because, like I said, this still needs to go up through the floor. So I got a bunch of excess. But so it's come straight off the tank to my valve, and then straight from the valve. Well, that's where it comes off the tank. It'll feed to this, and then it goes from here to the horn on the other side. So that's how you hook up an air horn, train horn, without buying all that extra stuff. You don't need it.